Hello everyone, thank you for joining. Today we're going to go about the cycle time reduction project. We're going to go give a progress report where we started, where we are right now, and what's going to be the end part of the project, so we can close it out and deploy it to the organization. So first of all, let me skip this. Okay. So first of all, I just want to provide some context, so just to ensure everybody's on the same page what we are trying to accomplish and kind of get understanding of the process at very high level. So we're working on the administrative process to outsource specific skill sets in outsourced vendors. One of the reasons we don't have the internal resources to do it, or we don't have that specific skill set to perform the job. So we call it engineer work authorization, the process, and it starts with the requester. The requester has the need to source a specific skill set. They have a statement of work, they have the documentation ready, they have the preliminary quote, the ROM, rough order of magnitude, and then we submit that into a system that it will go through, we review by a focal. Then the focal review make sure that the document, just a checklist, X amount of documents are there, and then it will go to a supplier to approval process. The approval process will be supplier approving the statement of work, systematic as in business approvals depending on the dollar threshold, and then it will go to a procurement side, it will go to a purchase requisition creation, and then to the buyer for PO placement. We have seen this kind of a high level process, many steps within each one. We're not going to go over that in today's presentation. So where we are today, current situation, why we started this, and kind of where's the kind of a vision objective that we want to accomplish throughout the end of the project. First up, kind of current situation, the process has too many steps that from right from the beginning, too many things to do offhand, too many things happening at each level of the steps that the requester as the initial submitter would need to know, but it's not involved through the process. It just gets rejected. They don't get that feedback, so we can learn and mitigate that from happening again. So also each process step has many layers of approval depending on the dollar threshold, depending on the program. So and they vary by program as well. So that's why it's getting cumbersome. Just how we can standardize this, kind of the first question you asked. And then this specific process that we're addressing, it's focused on just the portion that it's for the defensive space. And the reason I say this is because the defensive space, the program, the process that was approved by the customer, it's a right of when we get from the focal to the procurement side, that's all manual work. We have a scheduler, a planner, kind of several folks that need to do manual entries to just create a purchase requisition, which is not value added because we're not buying parts or we're not buying any production pieces. So we go back to other systems, to other programs, not defensive space, then they will use the normal automatic system that we want to move into. The current cycle time, as we ended last year, 2019, 32 days on average. That's not good on a defensive space program, which typically lasts six months to a year. That's pretty much a month or two out of the project, and we need to move fast. And all this is driving poor program performance because we cannot get those people involved fast enough to start executing and delivering to customer in a timely manner. So we divided the project, phase 1, phase 2. Phase 1, process standardization. Process standardization started from developing standard documentation, developing procedures, processes, kind of just kind of a set, document those, not just word it to emails or presentation on Word, just document it. Then we're gonna develop some training, or we're gonna get to that real soon. And we plan it to kind of this phase 1 is gonna give us 10 days, at least 10 days to document cycle time. And phase 1 completion date, it's May 5. And May 5, so what we have done so far, if you can see the top, we have under the development standard work, documentation, we have the statement of work done. So what we did with statement of work is that we kind of went through all the projects that we usually outsource and the type of skill set that we go out, and kind of we went to all those key metrics to try to find out, okay, what's really this kind of repetitive in all of them, and pretty much all of them are the same, which just varies in three things: the schedule, kind of a pure performance, and the second one is the type of work, kind of a if it's type of work. It's divided into three. So what we did is just create three separate standard STEM work. The requester will go in and just fill in specific sections that they will fill just close to those two. Go to those sections. Just go here, A, B, C, and you're done. No need to add anything else, because you need to be careful when you go to government programs. You can write like supplier name, things that might seem obvious or not obvious, but we want to make sure that, okay, you kind of mention vendor name, you kind of mention this and why and cost. Those are some of the things that we see all the time, and we don't know that until it gets to the procurement side. That's 10 days ahead of us. So that's why kind of try to mitigate everything that we can up front. Then we have the single source justification. Since we're trying to get that specific niche skill set, we need to present a justification why we need that skill set. Otherwise, procurement will try to competitive beat that project, that order. So we want that specific vendor with that specific skill set. Well, then we have a single source justification standard form. In this case, we just created two, because we saw kind of the main repetitive actions that we seen. So we created two. So just fill in the blanks where we mark it, and you're good to go. So we have all the first bullet here, develop standard documentation, has been implemented in January, has given great results. I'm going to go over that in the next slide. Then we go to procedures and the training. So these two go hand in hand. So whenever you finish the procedure, you can finish the training. We are close to 90% done, which is still some stakeholders review that need to happen to make sure, okay, they approve what you're sharing there, and kind of the tips and lessons learned are in compliance with the process, and make sure that we're not saying or providing guidance that's something that could deviate with what and you always direct them to the right answer. And that's some of the things that we want to ensure that we're in compliance with. And we should be done with all this, the last two, the training and the procedure, by May 5. So we're close to that. So phase two was a big hitter as well. A systematic improvement. Like I mentioned before, the ENS program, when we get out of the focal, so the approval, the cycle, you remember the cycle, as to the supplier approval, after that is procurement. So that process is done manually right now. It gets people that write something, their requisition, it needs to go to the system, and then another person goes in and fill out additional information, and that takes a lot of time, and it's just manual work. I think we identify that as a waste. And we want to move that into a more automatic electronic system, which we use to non-government programs, and that's the standard, and it's more streamlined. So we're gonna do part of that process. Phase was to go present to the customer. Here's the new process. Here it's gonna help us. How we're gonna track costs. We're gonna track hours to make sure we're in compliance, and that's the intent of that phase two. But we have to descope that. Descope means that we are not gonna pursue that phase two for now until next year, and thus mostly due to the recent pandemic that is going around. That it's just causing companies to lay off folks, to reduce workload, as in work hours, on paid weeks. So we want to be a little bit sensitive with that, and I don't think we can make it this year for that one, because there's a lot of reviews that need to be done. So as we continue here, let me see if I can move myself out of the way. Okay, good. So methodology. So we see FMEA results. This is what pretty much how we capture all those improvement that we could do, and this is how we identify we needed the standard documentation, and how we needed standard procedures and training. This is how we did it. If we did a Pareto, we did all the failures to the process, we mark them as an FMEA, we give them points, then we say, okay, we fix this, what would happen? If we do something doable, what will be the response, the change of it? We did that through all the failure mode that we identified, and this is the highest RPM differences. So this is kind of pretty much the biggest bang of the buck, how you say. So pretty much if you read through them, all that say document, 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 kind of question, correct question, document, references out, no statement of work, no single source justification, question of blank. Kind of okay. So this is what triggers the idea. We need to standardize document, and pretty much this you're gonna see the results on the next page. Just I'm addressing this 80% of the RPNs kind of improvements. It was just caused by few things, kind of documentation, other than systematic approvals. We didn't add it as part of the FMEA, but this is how we capture that. We identify what we need to improve and change, and if what will be the impact if we do. So next one here. So we have. Let's see what happened here. So we have the metrics, how we're doing, so we started in January implementing with the forms, the standard forms, and for the SSJ, for the stem of word and single source justification. We started, as you see there, kind of takes the kind of a lessons curve, I can't remember the correct word, but as in you go that, you see we got 27 January. Then February we hit it right there, the 22 mark, and then March kind of we stumbled a little bit and got a 23 days, I think it was. But still, you see the trend, it's going down, and it's gonna oscillate between the 22. That's at the end of the year, hopefully the average is gonna be at 22. Right now, the cycle time average year to date until March is gonna be 24. It is 24 days right now. April has not gone, so we have not captured that data yet, but we foresee that gonna be on the same time, kind of close to 22, 23, 24. Hopefully it's going to stay that way with all of that. And how are we going to control that? With the standard procedures that we're going to complete the next week or so, and the training. So it's going to create a couple sessions with the organization, then upload that training into the Learning Hub at the company. So you're going to assign it to everybody every year, so that way we understand what's going on with the process and how to manage that, and who to go to. And yeah. So that's how we started. This is the current situation. We started 32 days with all these issues. We identified through FMEA, we identified what are the main gaps and failures to the process. We kind of took that, addressed it with first phase 1, which is standardization, and here we are to the pretty much close to the closing of the project. So thank you, everybody. If you have any questions, let me know. Let me think. Yeah. So thank you.